Back.
Okay, I can hold this guy. I can hold this guy.
Okay. Kelly, yeah. I'm stunning him after.
I didn't think about it, but now, if you have this kind of matchup...
He can always avoid your ward if he really wants to, but...
Level 1.
You know, if you use too much hand sanitizer, there's visual.
Okay, Sinduani, okay.
2-1.
2-1.
Schmurda thing, they call it.
Even if it goes up and down, I still feel it's going a lot better now in general with everything compared to like past few weeks and before. And even if it can be bad at times or good at times, I at least feel a lot better with our progress right now. So I'm sure we'll just keep improving and be, yeah, much better players.
Okay.
TSM on 3. 1, 2, 3.
TSM!
I just wake up, I shower, I put on clothes, and I go to my PC, and then I start scrimming. And then when I'm done with scrims, I can't really go outside, so I just sit at the PC and play solo queue or something. But yeah, it definitely feels a bit weird. Every day I just wake up, do the same thing, practice from home, never leave my house. But yeah, again, like, while I think it's a bit boring, it's still like a very comfortable situation compared to a lot of other people affected by this.
So obviously we're going through a pretty uncertain time with the coronavirus impacting a lot of league operations and everything else in general. We initially had like a very early response to it. Starting from previous week, we had all of our players and staff starting to scrim from home. We set up web conferencing, and they are adhering to the same schedule as before in terms of their 12 to 5 scrim schedule. They're doing the same meetings and reviews. They're just all conducted online. We're also making sure that if the players do need to travel to get groceries or go to the doctor, we rented cars, we disinfected them, and we're able to drive our players around so they're not taking public transit or Ubers or Lyft, which have a higher chance of contamination. And we had like a pretty serious conversation with all of our players to make sure that they're staying indoors, only going outside if they really need it, and basically minimizing as much exposure for themselves and others as possible.
Obviously, the main precaution that we've taken is starting to play scrims from home and online for about a week or a week and a half, even earlier than a lot of people might feel like was completely necessary, but just kind of staying on the safe side. And obviously, just distancing or staying away from other people as much as possible, like doing this interview online or not eating our meals together, and yeah, just about most of the things that you can think of that people would do. Wash your hands, kids.
Yeah, I mean, we're screening from home with like cams and over Discord screen sharing our screens for reviews, and yeah, it kind of feels like I'm back in the amateur league, because that's what we used to do when we had no gaming house or people were not able to relocate. But I mean, I think we're still trying as hard as we can given the conditions, and yeah, I mean, practice still goes on. Of course, it's different. Of course, it's not the same feeling, but I think everyone's trying their best still.
It seemed like until 1 or 2 weeks ago, it was completely normal, and then from one day to the other, it just changed all of a sudden. And I remember I went to a grocery store where there was so many people, everything being sold out. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's happening here as well.
People are just lining up at grocery stores whenever they replenish their stock. So, of course, there's no toilet paper. That's always, I've never seen it. I think it's a myth. Yeah, it's crazy. And life is very different now, for sure.
Well, we first heard about it, I want to say like honestly, like not even a month after we got back from our boot camp in China/Korea. So obviously I was concerned about the people that I know in China and Korea, like my friends and stuff that I've had from previous experience with players in those regions. But I just started doing a lot of research right off the bat when I heard about it and trying to understand on some level what it was and what like it was going to do to, you know, wherever it was going to affect. Inevitably, like obviously it's getting to the point where it's affecting everyone in the world now.
I think as soon as LPL and LCK started getting canceled, it became obviously a lot more real, and as it started getting really bad in Italy as well, that this is probably going to affect us soon as well.
So obviously I kind of anticipated the LCS suspension, given how things were going, and made me pretty sad because like it's my whole life, right? If I'm not playing LCS, then it just feels kind of empty and boring to practice all the time. So yeah, it was pretty frustrating, but also understandable that they had to shut it down. And then yeah, I was asked as well if I would just cancel the whole split or play online, and I think even though playing online is like really bad compared to playing in the studio, it's still something, right? And I think canceling the split would just mean that I wouldn't have a purpose for the next 2 or 3 months, basically. So I was not a fan of just canceling the split, because it would mean like I would basically have nothing to do, no job, anything.
Riot first informed us of like the suspension of the league and told us they'll be working on a fix to try to get LCS back and running as soon as possible. Since it's online, it's a lot easier to figure out all the logistics for a online tournament than like something like the NBA where everyone has to be there in person. So LCS is back and it's now like fully remote, which is it's kind of like a season 1 league type of vibe. It's a different feeling. Yeah, I'm excited to see like if we can pull it off, if it looks good, or if it has some funny moments in there where like people's internets are like dropping. That's gonna be a good one.
I can't really say how I'll feel about playing LCS online. I think obviously people will need to find a way to still kind of pump themselves up or get themselves ready for a game, so that you can go in still feeling like the match is important and being focused, and not just kind of going through the motions every day, sitting down at your PC, because LCS games still matter. But one of the worst aspects is definitely after the game. If you win the game, you don't get the same excitement or dopamine hit of the fans screaming and the interview and being surrounded by your teammates, being able to huddle up and give hugs to your teammates and generally celebrate the victory. It'll be very different when I'm here alone in my apartment. So yeah, we haven't played LCS yet, so I don't really know. But obviously it's not perfect, but I also think there probably are a lot of people right now who are at home and kind of in needs for some entertainment and really appreciate that the LCS is continuing. So I don't really know what to expect, but I hope you guys are still happy and enjoying the show that we're going to continue to bring.